Hey, what's up, everyone? Morey Croson here, and today we're going to be talking about how your neck strength is going to help you get faster. I'm going to start the video right now. This is the newest edition of the Perform Side.
Reach your individual goals.
You don't want to just talk about straight line speed. We also want to talk about your ability to be quick. We break down your video.
Let's make you into the quarterback I know you can become.
All right, so this is a little bit of a different concept that we're going to be bringing to you today, but the main thing comes around. I was watching a interview with Tyreek Hill. He's on my fantasy football team, and they're talking about if he was going to play this week with his whole ankle and everything. He's giving an interview, and I just thought to myself, man, look at the size of his neck. It's just so wide, right? And I'm a believer that the human body is set up to be able to utilize every resource it can to be able to physically excel, right? So when it comes to somebody like Tyreek Hill, who is self-proclaimed the fastest player in the NFL, I would agree with that. When you watch him play, I think he's the fastest player in the NFL, but he's certainly one of the fastest players in the NFL. I think he'd be able to compete at a high level if he just struck to track and field. I don't know if he would be the fastest in the world to be able to beat any records, but I do think he would definitely hold his own against even somebody like a Christian Coleman or something like that. And so when you see somebody with just such a big neck, it just made me think, like, how important is that? And it just happened to be that a couple days later, another client of mine came up and was just like asking me about how can I get a bigger neck? Like I raced another athlete, and he was the same age as me, and while we were pretty similar in terms of height and body in general, he just had a really big neck. This is what my client was telling me. He had a really big neck, and it's also a lot more muscular. And so it just made me think, like, how important it was. So I started looking into more of these sprinters, and you do see a lot of these sprinters have pretty big necks, right? They're pretty thick within their neck, and I would say what's thick is going to be about the same width as the chin, right? Usain Bolt is in that same area. We have Fred Curley, Noah Lyles too. Like, there's not necessarily like that one guy that had that huge neck, right? There's like a mugshot of him that's just like super wide. It's like unnecessarily wide, look like a lizard or something. You don't need to be that big, but I would say also we don't want to be super skinny, right? We have like a Tom Brady picture here, and you could just see like he's just not well defined within his neck. And there's been a lot of correlation that has been found to really show that the muscles of the neck also play a big part in the activation within the core. That's why a lot of times when you're doing like crunches or bicycles and things like that, there's times where we'll just be like, man, like I feel it in my neck more than I feel in my core. And therefore it kind of shows that there's a correlation there, that the more you use the muscles within your core, there is also a lot of times where you're using the muscles in the neck, and vice versa. When you're using the muscles in the neck, you're also using the muscles in the core. So if you are weak in your neck or not very strong in your neck, and you're thinking maybe that could be impacting your ability to run fast, here are some exercises to be able to help you out. So first one, we're going to start with your head at the end of like a bed. I'm using a table right now, and I'm just lifting up, kind of trying to make it so I have like a double chin here. Just bringing my chin to my chest. You could also just like hold this position, right? So just have your head off of the bed. I would say tuck the chin a little bit more. You don't want to have your chin too high up in the air. Obviously, I'm going through an exercise, but you'd probably want it to be like closer to that position right there. And you just hold that, okay? That's another, it's just almost like a neck plank. It's another one. Here's one where I'm just kind of lifting straight up with my head, with my chin, okay? Just going straight upwards. Here's one where I am doing also like a core activation. I'm kind of working on my ability to coordinate through my arm, through my leg. This is just like a general core exercise. We're also just adding some additional difficulty by having the head off the bench. And then another one's going to be, or another recommendation would be just adding in some head lifting to like a general core exercise, right? So this is me just doing like flutter kicks, and then I'm lifting with my head off of the bench. I mean, I didn't do that the whole time while I was doing the flutter kicks. This is more just like a video to show what flutter kicks are. But the point is, you could just be doing flutter kicks or like really a wide range of different core exercises, and just slightly lift the head off the ground. Okay, here's another one, just doing leg lifts. You can just lift the head off the ground while doing this. All these are going to make it so, and just doing like bicycles or crunches, things like that. And then just don't lift up with your hands a lot, right? We don't want to end up pulling our head all the way up, right? You see people that will do this when they're doing like a crunch, right? Where they're like pulling up too much through their head. And same thing when they're doing bicycles. You don't want to be doing that. You want to be actually using your neck muscles when you are doing ab exercises. And like I said, there's a lot of correlation between those neck flexors. There's like the same front line, right? The muscles that go from your neck go down into your chest and then connect into your abs and going down into your like hip flexors and then attach onto your anterior tibialis, which is the muscle on the front part of your shin. So there's a lot of correlation between the ability to utilize the ankle, have good ankle range of motion, good ankle stiffness, be able to create good force through the ankle, have good balance with the strength in the core, and also with the ability to access your neck flexors. And also, when you see people running, I see it all the time where they'll pop up with their head or they'll get their head out of position. They have a hard time keeping their chin tucked. And, just made me think, I wonder if that has an impact on their ability to utilize their neck flexors, right? Like if their body is so used to using the neck extensors, the muscles on the back of the neck. And that's a common thing that we see with people that have like a lot of back pain and or just like inefficient in their movement, is they'll go and resort to using the neck extensors. It's a very bad compensation that people will use. And so what you want to be doing is using your neck flexors to be able to stabilize your spine, put your head in a good position. And again, I made a video not too long ago about just getting your head in a good position when sprinting and how important that is. And I think that there could be people that are out there that are not very strong within their neck and therefore are not able to produce at as high of a level as they should or could be able to produce. And again, a lot of that just has to do with their ability to more effectively strengthen their neck or potentially could end up being that. And I would just say, if you're an athlete and have the opportunity to gain an edge, right, get a little bit more education, information to help you in improving, take full advantage of it, right? You're not going to be able to always have a edge when it comes to physical capabilities, right? The higher up you go, the more you're going to have to rely on your work ethic and your craft and your education and just your willpower, right? And so there might be some of you that are physically more gifted than the people around you, right? That are just naturally fast, naturally powerful, naturally strong, have all these natural gifts. Well, there becomes a time where that is not the case anymore. You're going to be, potentially not the most physically gifted or just slightly above. And again, you're going to have to rely on things like this, things like your education, things that are going to give you a slight edge. And so just in life in general, I would recommend, like, if you have the opportunity to get ahead, take that opportunity. Don't let those type of opportunities go because they don't come very often. And so take this type of information and use it, implement it, make it so it can help you get better. I'm not like super thick in my neck, but I'm also, I don't think, very weak in my neck either. But just by watching this and seeing Tyreek Hill, I've been while doing my core exercises, lifting up my head and trying to get more neck activation, because why not, right? If it gets me a little bit faster, gives me 1/100th of a second faster off the ground because I can more effectively create full contact time, or have a little bit better balance, or I can create an extra 50 newtons of force into the ground, compound that over a period of time. And that will lead to significant gains within my sprinting, not only from a perspective of utilizing the muscles and how that can make an improvement, but also the impact that being able to create another 50 newtons of force has on my whole body. That will make it so now my hamstrings have to fire differently, my hips have to fire differently, my ankles have to stabilize better, I have to have better coordination through my core, through my arms. By being able to do that more effectively, that will help me generate more force, and that will make it so then I can get more speed and get faster and have better balance and have better overall power. And so all those things are important when it comes to your development as an athlete. And so don't overlook it. And I would say that, again, if this is something that you feel like can impact you, take it, utilize it, and make it so you can run faster. That's what we're all about here. We're all about being able to find every edge that we can And that's why the technique is important. That's why, I make these videos. And so I'm sure if you're watching this, you appreciate this and have utilized some of this information in the past, and I don't think this is any different. So again, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, comments, or recommendations, you can leave those down below. And if you want to check out some of our programs, you can below. There's some great things when it comes to running faster and like the 40-yard dash. If you're an athlete that's trying to do that, I have a 12-week program as well. If you're trying to do that, I really focus on being able to help you in improving within a specific area, within like your top speed or your start or your drive phase, acceleration. Just make it so you understand what it is within your technique that needs to get better. And to me, again, like looking at these nuances, looking at these things that are potentially holding you back, a small little change can make a substantial difference when it comes to your acceleration, your ability to get to top speed, your ability to change or achieve higher top speeds. All a lot of times comes down to just making a small little adjustment within your running mechanics. And that's what over the years I've become, I think, an expert at being able to do. So check out the description down below. We also have links to our website and like some of our social channels and things like that if you're interested in that. As always, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.